This week on Crosstalk,
I remember saying, God, I can't do this. I'll submit and do whatever you want, but I'm going to fail.
We were talking about how you can have this serene face and look like you don't have a problem, but everybody does.
Dr. Marty Baker is in the Pastor's Corner, and our Christian life coach gives practical advice, plus our scrolling Christian calendar. This week, Crosstalk is at Genesis Church on Fury's Ferry Road in Martinez. And from the future home of Genesis in Grovetown near I-20, let's join host Neil Gordon on the ground in Grovetown.
Welcome to the Field of Dreams, 20 acres of land in Grovetown that eventually will have a church, a dream center, and many baseball fields for the community. The genesis of the idea came from a pastor and his wife who planted their church 10 years ago.
But what there was a real presence of God in that hallway. He said, I got this. I got this. It was a 3-year birthing process in my life that God, all those sleepless nights of me wondering, God, what are you doing? Why are you stirring me? Why am I up in the middle of the night? And I cannot figure out what this restlessness is.
Chris Miller's pastoral path to Genesis began while serving as an associate pastor at Stevens Creek Church, and it led him to interview with pastors in Atlanta for a similar position.
I remember leaving that little Italian restaurant, getting in our car, leaning over to Heidi and says, we're not taking the job, because they offered us the job. And I told her, I said, we're going to plant a church. And her response was like, we came all the way up here to figure out we were going to plant a church.
And he shared his vision with a key person.
We came back. I sat down with my senior pastor, who I love to death. He's been a great mentor to me, Marty Baker from Stevens Creek Church.
And he understood Chris's calling. Dr. Baker planted Stevens Creek Church with 24 people in a borrowed living room in the late 1980s. The Christmas 2018 services drew 4,000 people. Pastor Marty had your back.
Yeah.
How so?
When we got ready to plant Genesis Church, we were kind of on staff at Stevens Creek, kind of not on staff because we were getting ready to, interview process and stuff like that. Marty insisted, hey, I want you to come back work for me for 9 months. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that because we don't want to take from the church.
And to prevent a conflict of interest, Chris had one stipulation.
Okay, if I do this, you can't tell anybody. Like, nobody needs to know. And so for the next 9 months, we were on staff at Stevens Creek, working in various ministries, doing things, building a team outside the church.
Chris expected to take a part-time job while pastoring Genesis at the beginning, but he didn't have to after Creekers passed around the offering plate and after a visit from his new ex-boss.
Well, then a few days later after our service, Marty comes by to the church and lets us know that, listen, we're also going to pay your salary for the next 3 months so that you can focus on Genesis Church. It's the most exciting thing you can do, but it's the most fearful thing. It's kind of like being on a roller coaster ride. You know, that first drop, you're so excited, you're like, yeah, we got this. And then when it drops, you're like, what am I doing?
And his family supported the goal. Seek the hurting, lost, and unchurched. And Chris's faith was restored at a launch party just before starting Genesis.
57 people showed up that night. Blew us away. At the beginning, it was, and we have a picture of me standing by a rock column thinking, nobody's gonna come. That's me, Mr. Negative. A little faith. And out of that 57 people, we had 16 people wanting to join the launch team. And we realized we can do this.
It seems like you have a heart for pastors who are where you were 10 years ago.
Yeah. We have a huge heart for church planting. It's not easy.
One of the lessons that he teaches those new pastors is to lay down their pride.
They give the same response that I give. Oh, just pray for us, because we don't like asking for things. You know, most pastors are these self-independent drivers. Oh, I don't need, just pray for me. No, you need help. I've been there. I said the same thing. Just pray for me. No, I needed money. And so we realize that. And so we fund for an entire year. We're part of the budget. We're part of funding their budget. Wherever you go, I am there. I order your steps.
God didn't let you down.
Never. He never will. Because God's always with us.
Nothing happens to you. Coming up, play ball in Grovetown. And a church member at St. Mark UMC keeps a family promise for 20 years. Crosstalk is brought to you by Windsor Fine Jewelers, across from the Augusta National Golf Club. Remember, you are invited to church.
But I want everybody to have a really good time and lie like mad about me and tell all kinds of good stories, all the women to weep, all the guys to say he was a good guy, yada yada, and then in the words of the song, I'll pass and be forgotten like the rest.
Welcome back to Genesis Church in Martinez.
We want people to be active and not just sit in a pew and listen, but to be active in the church and really be part of the church.
Good throw, Eli. Eli is the pastor's son. He's been playing Little League and travel ball for the last 11 years, and fortunately, his parents have been able to afford the fees. The reality is, many children in the Grovetown area simply can't, and they are on the outside of the fence looking into the game. But the overall reason to be able to put this program together is to use the principles of baseball, like sportsmanship and competition, to really teach those about the gospel of Jesus Christ. They may not know the Lord at all. Well, in our next segment from here in Grovetown, we're going to learn more about the future baseball ministry. But right now we want to welcome in Arlene Edwards with a story of hope and faith from a different congregation.
Talking with former nurse Betty Pond in St. Mark Methodist Church, one begins to understand how a life promise to serve has benefited homeless families in desperate need for over 20 years.
Well, Interfaith Hospitality Network, that was the original name, and that's still part of it, and that's the housing in the churches.
Okay.
And then the second part is child care. We have a child care day center where children can go for daycare while their parent or parents are working on all those things, jobs and all. And then there's transitional housing where if they qualify and can, have earned enough money to have the utilities in their name and all, they can be in these transitional homes for up to 2 years.
That is amazing.
It takes many volunteers, and from like Sunday to Sunday, setting up and providing meals and staying overnight. And I feel that we're helping a population that needs help. And it makes us feel blessed to see them succeed, and it makes us feel like we're doing God's work.
Betty, when you were sharing, I was reminded when Jesus says that when I was hungry, you fed me.
Yeah.
And when I was in prison, you visited me.
Mm-hmm.
And people marveled and says, well, when did we see you in this state? And he says, when you've done it to the least of these, you've done it unto me.
Yeah.
Does that put in a nutshell the family promise?
Oh yeah, it does.
As a Katrina evacuee myself, I felt the same promise from Betty as she revealed how we must always be mindful to focus on others if we are to heal ourselves.
Everybody has a problem.
Yeah.
We were talking about how you can have this serene face and look like you don't have a problem, but everybody does. But when you're helping somebody else, you forget all that. It changes your focus, it changes your emphasis and your priority, and it helps you if you can help others. You know, I always ask for guidance from God to guide and direct me in what you want me to do, and I feel like this is what He wants me to do.
There's something that you said in our conversation, and you referred to the persons that are being helped by the Family Promise as guests.
Exactly.
That is powerful.
Exactly. They're guests in our church, and we treat guests with love and care and affection. I think we were all very nervous because first week we weren't sure about what we were doing. Then, you know, we start getting to know them a little bit and meeting them, and of course his parents and children. And there was one particular little boy with these big eyes and this dark hair and just precious. And I think, you know, all the children are. That was a special week, and I guess that's why I remember that little fella over 20 years.
And when you shared that story, your face lit up.
Yeah.
That's where your passion is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
I've
you.
got chills.
I know. I just got it too.
Coming up,
I had it all planned out until my junior year of college.
and Neil takes a walk in the wilderness and gives a preview of the new church. The Christian Calendar is brought to you by Medical Associates Plus, the road to healthy, providing primary care, women's health, pediatric services, and more, with 7 area locations and online at mapbt.com.
Medical Associates Plus is your choice for expertly trained healthcare in the Augusta and surrounding areas. Medical Associates Plus offers the most efficient healthcare services, from checkups and physicals, a fully staffed pharmacy offering discounted medications, primary care, women's health, infectious disease, and infusion clinic, pediatrics, dentistry, mental health, and substance abuse services. Medical Associates Plus offers its services based on income and family size for the uninsured and underinsured. Medical Associates Plus, your new medical home.
God cares about you. Someone's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to pray for you. You can call or text. The number is 877-800-7729.
Comfort Keepers can provide a variety of in-home services for your aging loved ones. We'll assess their needs and create a custom care plan that can change as their needs change.
Comfort Keepers, keeping the comfort of home.
Welcome back to the site of the future location of Genesis Church in Grovetown.
I just like it because it's like a smaller church, so like everyone knows everyone, so it's like a big family. It's like a cozy. Small big family. It's cozy. Mm-hmm.
When we first started coming, my husband and I, it was instant family. Like we felt loved and taken in, and everybody here is like that.
Well, once this land is cleared, perhaps in the next 30 days or so, a fundraising campaign will start, and eventually the construction of a 25,000 square foot church, which is right now being modeled after a church in Dallas, with some interesting features to help out the children's ministry, like an indoor playground. Following that, the building opening in about January of 2021, a few years later will come the Dream Center, 15,000 square feet to help those in need with housing, with food, with clothing, and resources to help them move on into the next phase of their lives.
The Pastor's Corner is presented by Stevens Creek Church, with services at 9, 10:30, and 12 on Sundays, and online at stevenscreekchurch.com.
And this is hard for so many of us because, you see, we feel like that our worth is tied into what we do. But yet, we never take a break, so this stress and anxiety is coming on us because we're doing things we're not called to do. We're doing things we're not called to, we're not gifted to do. Some of you, it could be that you're working in a position that you're not gifted in. And as a result of that, you're frustrated. Maybe it's time to put together a resume. Maybe it's time for you to look at your life and to say, what else, what am I here to do? What are the gifts and talents? God, how can I create wealth? Just think about that. I think some of you are frustrated because you're following a script that has been written for someone else.
In 2019, 88.3 WAFJ is celebrating 25 years. 2 special concerts coming up. Stephen Curtis Chapman, February 24th, and for King and Country, March 8th. Tickets and details, WAFJ.com.
Our Christian Coaching Minute is a service of A Better Tomorrow on North Bel Air Road in Evans and on Facebook at ABT Coaching.
What would you say if I asked you, what is your calling? How will your story end? What is your unique talent? Would you believe me if I told you that the Lord has given us all a unique talent? One that's just for you and one that's just for me. My entire life I thought I wanted to be a doctor. I had it all planned out until my junior year of college. I soon realized that my love for helping people didn't need to come through being a medical doctor. I fell in love with social work. Today, I still love what I do. Perhaps your calling is not something that you'll do full-time. Maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's a volunteer job, but the important thing is that you listen to the signs, because the Lord will place things and people in your way to give you those little whispers that this is what you're meant to do. In order to find out what your unique calling is, get out, try new things, overcome your fear of failure, set your goals. Embrace your unique calling and realize that it is special to you. The Lord has given you this talent. Maybe finding that unique calling is through volunteering, a hobby, or through employment. Until next time, I'm Leslie Anderson with A Better Tomorrow.
Our Christian Coaching Minute is a service of A Better Tomorrow on North Bel Air Road in Evans and on Facebook at ABT Coaching. Coming up next.
Because to me, when I look at a child who tells me, you know what, Coach, I wish I could play, but my parents can't afford it, it breaks my heart.
At Best Office Solutions, we'll handle the supplies so you can handle your business. We offer easy online ordering, personal customer service, free and accurate delivery, plus competitive pricing. Our staff can also provide insight regarding the best marketing tools and promotional items to help you increase your business. Call us today for your free consultation and to become a member of the Best Office Solutions family. Best Office Solutions, everything you need for your business except the people.
How much does the word independence come up in your questions?
You know, not a whole lot, but we bring it up as the community, because our goal is to try to either keep someone as independent as possible or promote whatever independence they brought with them. So, for instance, you know, it might be a situation where at home and the daughter is the primary caregiver. Well, I can't get mom to do anything. Well, is she capable of doing this, or this? Well, I think she is, but she won't. I have to do everything. Well, at Morningside, we're going to encourage her to do what she's able to do, but we're here to assist her with what she's not able to do. So an example of that is with bathing.
Our Christian calendar of events is a service of Be Still Displays, with approximately 20 digital billboards across the CSRA, available to help your church or company grow with a flexible approach. Visit BeStillDisplays.com. Welcome back to Genesis Church in Martinez, a temporary home until the Grovetown campus is complete.
Coming to Genesis, you're really not a stranger. People really are servants, especially in a military town. That's so important. People move here not knowing anyone, and we'll hook you up. We'll get you connected, a small group, whatever your needs are. We want to fulfill those.
Operation Grovetown is personal to Pastor Miller.
My daughter at 11 years old started a thing called Annabelle's Closet. And we realized the majority of people that we help were from the Grovetown area. And we would serve families every first and third Saturday of the month. And we would clothe them, we would help them find resources that they need. But the conversations that we had with people were like, man, we wish we had a church out there. We would hear that over and over. We wish you guys were closer. And we would respond like, we wish we were closer too. God began to stir. It's always been there, but the stirring has been constant. We're going to build a dream center out there. Our goal is to get the church out there, yes, but the dream center is really our heart.
Eyes right. Miller's heart is also to be closer to Fort Gordon families. He gets the life.
We have a passion for our military. I was raised an Army brat. My dad was in the military for 26 years. He retired when I was 19. We lived in 13 different states on 2 different continents. And you had to learn to make friends really quick when you were in a school for about 6 months and you moved to another school and then another school.
Miller's dad found another church at every stop, and Chris learned a life lesson on a family adventure from South America to Texas in an old station wagon.
And he walks right over there to a group of kids eating trash, and he gives them all of our food. And he comes back and he gets in the station wagon, and we're like, Dad, come on. And he leaned back and he says, we're always called to serve, boys. We're always called to serve. And I remember that like it was yesterday. And that struck me as we're driving, we're hungry, and we get to the next place to eat. And I'm thinking, we're always called to serve? No, we're not. But as I watched my dad as a child serve, everywhere he went, served our country. Was in Vietnam, 2 years in Vietnam, served our country for 26 years. I grew up with this mentality, we're called to serve others. And maybe even sensing that tug in your heart, that's the Holy Spirit.
Recently, a military family moved to Augusta with their 13-year-old son, and they visited Genesis.
When I was like, are you here for someone? He's like, no, I don't know anyone here. I'm new to the area. My mom and dad just moved here. We're stationed out at Fort Gordon. And immediately, I'm like, dude, I love you. You know, and I throw my arms around the kid. His eyes get that big around. And immediately, I'm like, hey, you know what? I got some guys I want to introduce you to. And I take him in, and all the guys in our student ministry, I'm like, hey, come over here. We got somebody new. And immediately, because of the heart of our church, those boys just take that kid on like he's been part of the group the entire time. And so when the dad comes to pick him up that afternoon around 8:30, Joe Bonson said, Dad, I want to come back.
Miller coached kids in baseball for 10 years, including his own.
Those kids will have the same opportunities that my kid had. Our hope and our desire is to create an opportunity for people to come to our land where there's fields that they can use for free. We will never charge anyone anything to use our facilities. It teaches them how to pick one another up. It teaches the very values, really, that the Bible teaches, is to love one another, to serve one another, to cheer one another on. I love scripture that says, hey man, at all costs, definitely do good to those who are of the faith.
And on these Field of Dreams, they'll get extra coaching in the form of the Lord's Prayer, a standard for Coach Miller before and after each game.
About the 4th or 5th game, I start calling out kids that don't go to church. Hey, Brian, you want to start the Lord's Prayer for the team? Absolutely, Coach. And he's saying the Lord's Prayer, and he's never stepped a foot in church. And it's a ministry to me. We have a lot of people at our church that didn't come to Genesis Church, but once I got them on a baseball field, I witnessed Jesus to them on the field and then off the field to their parents. So I'm like, hey, I got you. You can't go nowhere for 2 hours, so I'm going to share the gospel.
You have church.
Exactly, on the field. And people have given their life, and they're here at our church today.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
I'm not. I just try to be what God called me to be.
This portion of Crosstalk is a service of the Hawk Law Group, the local trial attorneys helping you with your serious injury claims. Visit hawklawgroup.com or call 706-444-4444. And Mayo & Associates Certified Public Accountants, specializing in tax planning and preparation. Highlight your bottom line. Visit mayocpas.com. The Christian Calendar is a service of Putt Putt and Martinez, providing a fun and safe place for church events, team building days, and birthday parties. Also serving Rita's Italian Ice. Call 706-868-0083. That's 706-868-0083.
Hi, I'm Robin Kelly, owner of Trend Salon in Martinez. I'm blessed to have a great team that brings out the best in every client. We do hair for the entire family, nails, sugaring, massage, facials, and makeup. A kids' playroom is also available. We're so passionate about our annual cut-a-thons. Together we've raised over $100,000 for local families. Visit us at 3670 Riverwatch Parkway or online at trendsalonaugusta.com.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm Brian Williams, the director, and this is the Blessing segment. A special update to a feature we recently ran on When Help Can't Wait. We're so proud to announce that after being touched by the Crosstalk episode, a viewer decided to send in an additional $500. Plus, they were able to relinquish some of the space at the current location, thus saving them money on rent, so they are no longer in need of a new building. Praise God. If your church is a part of a ministry, whether you're providing coats or food or monies to help show the love of God, please reach out to us at crosstalktv.com.
Arlene, I think this has been the most emotional half-hour program of Crosstalk since we started. I mean, I really felt for Pastor Chris.
Yes.
You could tell, I mean, his heart hurts for kids who are left behind. It was touching.
His passion. That's what that is. We felt and experienced his passion.
Find us on Facebook, Crosstalk TV, and online, crosstalktv.com.
Check us out each Saturday evening, 6 p.m. on NBC 26 and on Sundays, 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. on TV 49. We'll see you next week, Crosstalk TV.
God bless. Closed captioning for the hearing impaired is brought to you by Freitas Wealth Management Group. Founder Robert Freitas is dedicated to helping families and businesses with financial planning, investments, insurance, and estate planning with a Christian perspective. Call 803-393-2241 or visit FreitasWMG.com. Petch Respiratory Services, a family-owned and operated respiratory company specializing in life support ventilation services, CPAP and BiPAP, along with home oxygen equipment and service. Call the number on the screen or visit petchrespiratory.com.
And Morningside Assisted Living on North Bel Air Road, providing their Lifestyle 360 program to take care of the mind, body, and soul of their clients. Visit morningsideofevans.com.
With the help of Comfort Keepers, I'm keeping my mom healthy.
I'm keeping Dad on schedule.
I'm keeping my mom happy. Comfort Keepers in-home professional caregivers can provide meal planning and preparation, health and wellness services, and personal care services through custom care plans that can change as needs change, so your aging loved ones can stay happy and healthy in their own home.
Comfort Keepers, keeping the comfort of home.
We hope you've enjoyed Crosstalk presented by Windsor Fine Jewelers, and remember, you are invited to church.